Hello everyone and welcome to Study Era. So guys, we are here with our new series of international relations. Today is the second video on that series. So today we are going to learn about international system or history of international system. Okay, so we are going to know what is the history of international system from where it has the origin. So as first of all, I said in the last video that I said sometimes the word like international system. So you should know that what is international system. When many of the states engage with one another in an environment, that's called international system. Okay, when states engage with one another, many of the states when engaged from one another in an environment, in like a system, so that is known as international system. Okay, all the states are considered to be sovereign, and some states are more powerful than others. The system has a number of informal rules about how things should be done. Okay, but these rules are not binding on any of the states. International relations have existed as long as the state themselves. But the modern international system under which we live today is only a few centuries old. Right. So, first of all, from where the international system begins in 1648, if we talk about the Peace of Westphalia, we learned about that in our previous videos. So, in 1648, the Peace of Westphalia, which was the Treaty of Westphalia, which ended the 30 Years' War between Catholic states and Protestant ones in Western and Central Europe. Okay, so that established a modern international system because it declared that the sovereign leaders of each nation or states could do as sure he wished within its borders or boundaries, and established the states as the main actor in global politics. Means in international relations, state acts as a main actor. So from that point forward, the international relations has consisted primarily of relations among nation states. So from there, international relations begin to study. That was the starting of the international system. Okay, from 1648 Peace of Westphalia or Treaty of Westphalia, and also from 1600 to 1800, this when the shifting of balance of power was taking place, from 17th to 18th century, the nation states emerged as the dominant political unit, okay, in international system. A series of powerful states dominated Europe. Means England was there, and that France was there. Okay, so many of the states emerged as a dominant political unit. Series of powerful states dominate the Europe. Sorry, with the great powers rising and falling. So, weaker states often banded together to prevent the dominant powers from becoming too strong. Okay, if some of the states become too strong, then they will suppress the smaller one or weaker one. So that's why to maintain the balance of power, the weaker nations banded together to prevent the dominant powers. Okay, to from becoming too strong. So frequent wars and economic competitions marked this era from 1600 to 1800, and some of the nations like France and England were too much powerful that time. Okay, so this was like shifting of balance of power, and this was also the studying of international relations. In 1800 to about 1945 1946, there was the emerge, there was the there was the emergence of nationalism as a strong force which allowed the nation states to grow even more powerful. So the problems raised by the unification of Germany, as it also takes place between 1800 to 1945. So the unification of Germany contributed to World War One. Okay, from 1914 to 1918, you all know. In the aftermath of World War One, the international system changed. The major powers of the Europe had suffered greatly, but US began to come out as a global power. Okay, at the same time, Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian Empire ended, and the end of these Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian empires created a series of new nations. Okay, they all disintegrated and makes a new nation. All make a new nation. So these all factors contributed to Treaty of Versailles. Treaty of Versailles makes the rise in Nazism and communism, and this leads to World War II from 39 to 45, 1939 to 45. So these were all the factor by which international system comes into existence. So this was the history, like a history of international relations, international system. Okay, so again, international system definition. If you have the question like state what is international system, so you should know the definition of international relations, and you should write that states engage when states engage with one another in an environment, so that's known as international system. And after that you can write about the history of international system. Okay, so when the states engage with one another in an environment known as international system. Thank you so much. Here we end the video. If you have any question or query, kindly comment in the comment box. Thank you.